Okay. So I want to get this right. Like the mind is what again? And what is the brain? And could you
So
give me an
the
example for
You
each
know what's
one?
funny is before you actually answer this, that was actually a PhD qual question from Joel Stager back in the day. Like the most broad damn thing he could think of. Like, what's the mind? What's the brain? Write 7 pages on
Wow.
it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
That
horrible.
was for a human performance PhD.
Oh wow.
Whoa. I mean, I don't know if I'm the right person to speak on this, but basically how I think of it is the brain is just it consists of 10 billion neurons. So that's
Mhm.
what the brain is.
Okay.
There's structure, there's cells, it's physical. And then the mind is what's not physical. So
Ah.
kind of saying like, well, if personality comes from the brain, where is it? And you can't really point to it. So then some argue that's the mind, something that comes out from the brain but isn't the brain. And so go ahead.
I was gonna say, so it's like your subconscious in a way.
Yeah, in a sense. So, and I mean, your subconscious is utilized in various ways for attention perception. There's a lot that you do that you're not conscious of, but
Mhm.
thinking of various aspects of your subconscious, yes, that's the mind.
Okay. Wow. Well, and and then the mind kind of to go into event perception, it does these like tricks on you to bring up emotions or feelings or reality that has these like checks of reality, but they're not real. Like the only thing that we have that's real is the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could be like, I'm upset, so this means that. That's my indicator for, you know, I'm upset with my sister. And this is how I'm perceiving things. But there's nothing, not even in language does this event perception create. It's like what animals live in, like their own reality. And we just like create these games on top of it, which
Right.
is just, I don't even know how you study that because there's so many layers to it.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that could be a whole different topic in and of itself. And that's what kind of overwhelmed me first getting into this program because it's like there's so many different things you have to think about because the brain, and this is probably a topic that you've talked about before, the brain isn't even isolated from everything else, but the brain has a whole entire body attached to it. And so there's so many levels to it. So it's like you're studying something and you can get overwhelmed by the fact of thinking, what did they do that day? What did they eat that day? What are they thinking right now? What type of situations are they in? What's their socioeconomic status? What culture are they from? And there's all these variables, and you kind of just have to ignore them and assume that statistics and randomization will be your friend and help you out and not be in the way of things. Because you can just go on and on and on about
Mhm.
all these things you should worry about, but you can never create the perfect experiment. And so in that sense, there are so many aspects that can probably conflate some results or hide some results, but you just have to do the best you can.